Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat pranams. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. There is my sweet, there is my sweet smile. Little sweet smile is there. Who is little sweet smile? Who is little sweet smile? Look at her, how she's looking at me. That's good. I didn't see you all these days. Rasapriya? Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Oui.
Let's chant Japa with Srila Prabhupada. One round. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami
Iti Namini.
Namaste
Namaste
Saraswati
Saraswati
Deve
Devi.
Gauravani Pracharine
Charni.
Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya
Pashata
Devatarine
Distal.
Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya
Chaitanya
Prabhu
Prabhu Nityananda.
Nityananda
Shri Advaita
Shri
Gadadhar.
Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur
Gaur Bhakta
Bhaktavrinda
Vrind.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare Hare Ram
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare.
Krishna Hare 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 Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
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 Ram,
Ram
Hare Hare. Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram, Ram
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna.
Hare 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 Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna.
Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare Ram,
Ram
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 Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna.
Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
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 Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna.
Hare 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 Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
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 Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna.
Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Hare.
Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
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 Ram,
Hare Hare
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Ram Ram.
Hare
Kalala
Krishna
padutanda.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare.
Hare Ram
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Ram
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 Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare Hare
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
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 Ram,
Hare Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare.
Hare Ram
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
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 Ram,
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare
Hare.
Hare Hare Ram
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
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 Ram.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
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 Ram, Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare
Hare.
Hare Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare.
Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare Hare
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
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 Ram,
Hare Hare
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare
Hare.
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare Ram,
Ram
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 Ram,
Hare Hare
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare Ram,
Ram
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 Ram,
Hare Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare.
Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare Ram,
Ram
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 Ram,
Hare Hare
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare.
Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare Hare
Hare.
Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare.
Hare Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare.
Hare Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare Ram,
Ram
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 Ram, Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare Hare
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram, Ram
Ram
Ram, Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare Hare
Hare.
Hare Ram
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
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 Ram,
Hare Hare
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare Hare
Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare Ram, Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया
भगवती उत्तम
भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके
श्लोके
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी।
निष्ठिकी।
नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रीमद् भगवद गीता एज इट इज की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to today's Srimad Bhagavatam for all session. Today is Sunday, so today's the last day. We are reciting this verse, Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 10, text 42, 10:42. And tomorrow will be beginning a new chapter. We'll be memorizing shlokas from the 11th chapter. So if anyone needs to go first, please raise your hand.
I like that Narsimha, Lord Narsimha background of Rasapriyas. So sweet, so good. All the lights are on.
Yes, Mataji. 10:42. Yes, Mataji. Aditi Lata Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Athava bahunaitena kim gyatena tavarjuna vishtavyaham idam kritsnam ekam sena stito jagat. But what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Arunata.
Athava bahunamantina
Bahunaitena
Unaitena kim kyatena tavarjuna vistabhyam idam kutsan
Vishtabhyaham.
vistabhyam idam kutsan ekam sena stito jagat. Translation. But what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. Hare Krishna.
Yes, thank you. Hare Krishna. Achintadev Prabhu, you are able to recite now?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Prabhuji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Go ahead, Prabhuji.
Athava bahunaitena kim gyatena tavarjuna vitsa vitsabhyam vitsabhyam idam krishnam ekam sena stito jagat. Translation. But what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Isha.
अथवा बहुनैतेन किं ज्ञातेन तवार्जुन विष्टभ्यहम् idam kritsnam ekamshena stito jagat. But what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe.
Madhava.
अथवा बहुनैतेन किं ज्ञातेन तवार्जुन विष्टभ्यहम् idam kritsnam ekamshena stito jagat. But what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe.
Rasapriya.
अथवा बहुनैतेन किं ज्ञातेन तवार्जुन विष्टभ्यहम् idam kritsnam ekam sena stito jagat. But what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe.
Sonia Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Tava bahunetena kim natena tavarjuna vishtapyaham idam kritsnam ekam shena stito jagat. But what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Priyanka Haripriya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Athva bahunaitina kim gyatena tava arjuna vishtapyaham idam kritsnam ekam shena stito jagat. But what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe.
Thank you. Vindhyavali Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. Jai Shri
अथवा बहुनैतेन किं ज्ञातेन तव अर्जुन इष्टभ्याहमृदं कृष्णम् एकां स्तेन सितो जगत्. But what you need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge. With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Anyone else? I think everyone has recited. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, text 49. अथवा बहुनैतेन किं ज्ञातेन तव अर्जुन विष्टभ्याहम् इदं कृत्स्नम् एकांशेन स्थितो जगत्. But what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. So, because today is the last day we are reciting this verse, can anyone tell me what are the 5 meanings of Ishtabhyaham according to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur? Anyone?
I have that.
Sonia Mataji, yes.
Adhisthana? Oh, I'm sorry.
Mataji, go ahead. No, Mataji, that's okay. Go ahead.
Adhisthana, Adhisthata, Niyanta, Vyapaka, Karana.
Karana. Okay, thank you. Sonia Mataji, tell me the meaning of Adhisthana.
One who is shelter.
Who is the shelter? That means everyone is in him. Yes, who is the shelter? And then Adhishtata?
This Tata is from
One who
whom?
Ah, yes, Mataji. One who sits inside.
One who sits inside.
Inside, yes. So one who enters, who sits inside, like Paramatma. Okay, then what is Niyanta?
Controller.
Control. And Vyapaka?
All pervading.
All pervading. And Karana?
Cause.
Yes.
Yeah,
So, who are we referring to here? Ekam Shena means? Ekam Shena refers to with a single fragment of myself, the Lord is saying. Who is that?
Arcanabhakti Vishnu.
Karanodakshaya Vishnu. Yes, like that. Thank you. So, let's read Srimad Bhagavatam now. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 10, the transcendental activities of Lord Ramchandra. Chapter 10. So, Chapter 10, the pastimes of the Supreme Lord Ramchandra. So, we were reading, what did we read last time? About the pastimes of Lord Ramchandra. That's what we are reading. So, first of all, we read about the appearance of Lord Ramchandra. He is none other than the Supreme Lord, and he appeared along with his expansions. And
6 generations.
no, I started directly with Lord Ramchandra, so
okay.
I didn't talk about the previous generations. So yes, 6 generations from Khatwanga Maharaj. So then Lord Ramchandra and his expansions and consecutive expansions, Lakshman, Bharat, Shatrugna, like that. Then also the pastimes of Lord Ramchandra activities are heard. Everyone knows them. Everyone has heard them again and again. Parikshit Maharaj also. So therefore Sukadeva Goswami said, I will speak in brief. And can anyone tell me what is Srila Prabhupada saying there? When Sukadeva Goswami says that you have heard it again and again, what is Srila Prabhupada saying there in the purport? Anyone remembers? Yes, Rasapriya.
He was saying that even back then there were many other people who would write their own ways of Ramayana and other interpretations.
Huh?
Like there were back then there were a lot of people who would write Ramayana.
Yes, so what is the message? Huh? Isha, unmute yourself.
The civilization was degraded even back then.
Okay.
I can try.
So still, what is the lesson?
The,
Only tattva.
can I try, Mataji?
Yes, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so what he was saying is Ramayana was written by many people, but we have to listen to only that which is by the sages who have actually seen it, who have
Tattvadarshi. Tattvadarshi.
Yeah,
Yes,
Tattvadarshi.
correct.
Imagination.
Yeah, people will write with according to their imaginations. We should not follow that.
Activity
We
in
should
terms
only
of one's
accept
imagine.
spiritual knowledge only from Tattvadarshis.
Tattvadarsha.
Okay, that's the message. And further after that, we started reading about. So now Sukadeva Goswami begins to give, to not describe, but give in short, in summary, the pastimes of the Lord, the transcendental activities of Lord Ramchandra. So we saw how Lord Ramchandra went to the forest in order to fulfill the promise of his father. He went with Sita Devi and Lakshman.
Lakshman.
Then how Lakshman cut off the nose of Surpanaka. Ravana became angry. He came and he kidnapped Sita Devi. Then Lord Ramchandra, with the help of Hanuman or Sugriva, you can take, went to fight with Ravana, but he had to cross the ocean. So Samudra would not respond. So Lord Ramchandra got angry. Then Samudra came and fell on his feet, gave him way. Then a bridge was constructed, and they all went to Lanka. And there Lord Ramchandra entered the kingdom of Ravana like a fire devours the forest. So may such Lord Ramchandra give us protection. Then another pastime that we read was that when Vishwamitra Muni took Lord Ramchandra and Lakshman to the forest where he was performing the sacrifice, there Lord Ramchandra killed demons, rakshasas, uncivilized men, right? In that, and then he he helps Vishwamitra Muni complete his yajna, right? He punished Maricha and killed Subahu, like that. So may that Lord Ramchandra give us protection. Also, how Lord Ramchandra broke the Shiva Dhanush and he accepted Sita Devi as his consort. And Lord Ramchandra is compared to a young or a baby elephant that just breaks sugarcane. Like that, Lord Ramchandra broke the Shiva Dhanush and accepted Sita Devi. And after marriage, when they were returning, Parashuram came and he stopped Lord Ramchandra, challenging him to a fight. He came with his bow. So it is said that although Parashuram was very proud because he had annihilated all Kshatriyas, but this time he was defeated by Lord Ramchandra, who also appeared to be a Kshatriya. Also then, the renunciation of Lord Ramchandra. When his father told him to go out into the forest, Lord Ramchandra was just about to be coronated as the Prince Regent, and everyone supported him. People were even ready to fight Dasharath Maharaj and kill him so that Lord Ramchandra could become the king. If Dasharath Maharaj is the reason for Lord Ramchandra's not becoming king, they were even ready to fight with Dasharath Maharaj, kill him. So that Lord Ramchandra, so that's how much support he had from his citizens. But still, in spite of having such loving citizens, loving mother, right? Mothers, and then brothers, he just left everyone. Renunciation. How? Like a self-realized person would give up his body. Like that, Lord Ramchandra just left everything and entered into the forest. Next verse today. Text 9. रक्षस्वसुर्व्यकृतरूपमशुद्धबुद्धेस्तस्याखरत्रिशिरदूषणमुख्यबन्धून् जघ्ने चतुर्दशसहस्रमपारणीया कोदण्डपाणिरटमान उवास कृच्छ्रम्. Whose turn is it today? Nilambari Mataji is here.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat Pranam Mataji. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Go ahead Mataji.
While wandering in the forest where he accepted a life of hardship, carrying his invincible bow and arrows in his hand, Lord Ramchandra deformed Ravana's sister, who was polluted with lusty desires by cutting off her nose and ears. He also killed her 14,000 Rakshasa friends, headed by Krishna, headed by Kara. Sorry. No, Trishira and Dushana. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you Mataji. So again we are reading another episode. When Lord Ramchandra was wandering in the forest with Sita Devi and Lakshman, he was living the life of an ascetic. They built their own hermitage with, whatever dry leaves and, sticks, whatever was available in the forest, they constructed their hermitage. And of course, throughout his stay in the forest, Lord Ramchandra and Lakshman carried their weapons because they were still Kshatriyas. So they had their bows and arrows. And once Ravana's sister Shurpanakha, becoming lusty, seeing the beautiful form of Lord Ramchandra, she became attracted to him. So she wanted to enjoy with him. So she came, Lord Ramchandra, and uh, for some time Lord Ramchandra and Lakshman kind of played some jokes with Surpanakha in the sense that she came to Lord Ramchandra. Lord Ramchandra would say, "You know what? I'm already married. I'm so sorry. I have a wife. Besides, what will you gain if you married me? Because I already have a wife. You would have to become the maid servant of my wife. You wouldn't like that, would you? But I'll tell you what, my younger brother, he doesn't have a wife. He's single. He's looking for one companion, in the forest. So you can approach him. And she's a Rakshasi. She just instantly, she just, gave up on Lord Ramchandra, and she set her mind on Lakshman, and she went to Lakshman. And then Lakshman understood that Lord Ramchandra is, just playing. So he also said, I'm a servant of Lord Ramchandra. So if you marry me, then just as I am a servant of Lord Ramchandra, you'll have to become the servant of his consort Sita Devi. You wouldn't like that. You should go back. You should actually accept Lord Ramchandra like that. And then again she went back to Lord Ramchandra, and this time she got mad, right? Being sent back and forth, and she decided all this is happening because of this Sita, Lord Ramchandra's consort. So I'm going to eat her, and then there won't be any obstacle. Then Lord Ramchandra will accept me. So when she tried to attack Sita Devi, and Lord Ramchandra immediately ordered Lakshman to stop Surpanakha and punish her. So Lakshmanji cut off her nose and ears. That's what is said here. That once Ravana's sister Shurpanakha, who was polluted by lusty desires, or desired to enjoy with Lord Ramchandra. So by cutting off her nose and ears, Lord Ramchandra deformed her. That means he ordered Lakshman to do that. So her face was deformed. Then what happened? She first of all, when her nose and ears were cut off, this was in the forest. What is that forest called? Where this happened? Janastan, right? Panchavati. Yeah. So when Lakshman cut off the nose and ears of Surpanaka, in the nearby, in that forest, in the, I'm forgetting that name, where all the Rakshas, Dandakaranya, right? Where all the Rakshasas lived. It was infested with Rakshasas, all types of Rakshasas. So her brothers Khara and Dushana, along with 14,000 Rakshasa warriors, they were residing there in Dandakaranya at that time. So when Surpanaka's nose and ears were cut off, she immediately went to her brothers and then she, incited them to go and take revenge. So they came with their 14,000 Rakshasas to fight with Lord Ramchandra. And Lord Ramchandra, seeing the Rakshasa army coming toward him, he told Lakshman to take Sita ji to safety in a nearby cave. Lakshman wanted to stay there and help Lord Ramchandra. Lord Ramchandra said, no, you go and take Sita to safety. So Lord Ramchandra alone, of course, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but still, as a Kshatriya, right, single-handedly, he fought and killed all the Rakshasa warriors, including Kara and Dushana. One person managed to escape from there and went and informed Ravana of what happened. So, Akampana, yes. So here, this verse is saying that by cutting off her nose and ears, he deformed her, and then he also killed her 14,000 Rakshasa friends headed by Kara, Trishira, and Dushana. All of them were killed by Lord Ramchandra alone. Text 10. सीता कथा श्रवणदीपितहृच्छयेन सृष्टं विलोक्य नृपते दशकन्धरेण जघ्नेद्भुतैन वपुषाश्रमतोपकृष्टो मारीचमाशु विशिखेन यथा कमुग्रः. So after Nilambari Mataji, Priyanka Mataji, you read yesterday, right?
No, Mataji.
You didn't read? Oh,
No.
okay.
I haven't
Go
read
ahead.
from so many days.
Sorry. Go ahead, Mataji.
O King Parikshit, when Ravana, who had 10 heads on his shoulders, heard about the beautiful and attractive features of Sita, his mind was agitated by lusty desires, and he went to kidnap her. To distract Lord Ramchandra from his ashram, Ravana sent Marich in the form of a golden deer, and when Lord Ramchandra saw that wonderful deer, he left his residence and followed it and finally killed it with a sharp arrow, just as Lord Shiva killed Daksha.
Yes. So when Ravana, first of all, he got news that his 14,000 soldiers were killed by one person. Then, who is Ravana? Ravana is also called Dashanana. He had 10 heads on his shoulders. So first of all, what happened was, first Akampana comes, right, and informs him of how the 14,000 soldiers were killed. And then Lord Ramchandra, deciding to go and fight with Lord Ramchandra, said Ravana. Sorry. Ravana deciding to go and fight and punish Lord Ramchandra. Now, did Surpana come already or no? Maricha, and he got convinced. Right. So the first time when he went, it was So simply to take revenge for killing, yeah. So he got news. He didn't meet Surpanaka directly, but he got news how Surpanaka's face was deformed, her nose and ears were cut off, and then Kara, Dushana, Trishira went to fight with Lord Ramchandra, and they all got killed along with 14,000 soldiers. This was quite a shock, because each of these warriors was not an ordinary Rakshasa warriors. They were very, very powerful. And one human being killed all Rakshasas single handedly. What kind of a human being is this? Right? Yeah. So he wanted to punish. So he went to get help from Maricha. Okay, so it was already given. Akampana gave the idea also. So Akampana is the one who escaped in the battle with Lord Ramchandra. Of the 14,000 soldiers, Akampana escaped, and he suggested that how to defeat this Lord Ramchandra. He is so powerful, he killed all the soldiers, and in a very short time, like an hour or two or something, he killed all 14,000 soldiers with just his bow and arrow. He just killed. So what kind of a human being is he? Then he said, actually he's very much attached to his wife. If you just kidnap her, then you can defeat him. He will just die. You don't even have to defeat him. He'll just die out of separation from her. So this was Akampana's idea. You just kidnap his wife and we'll be able to defeat him. Otherwise, he's invincible. He killed all the Rakshasa. I personally saw him fight. If you went to fight with him one on one, you wouldn't be able to defeat him. But he'll become weak if you just kidnapped his wife like that. So then, taking Akampana's advice, Lord Ramchandra went to Maricha to get his help in uh, taking Lord Ramchandra away from Sita Devi so that he can kidnap. But Maricha, he had an experience with Lord Ramchandra before when he tried to, spoil Vishwamitra's yagya, and how Lord Ramchandra came and, shot his arrow, and, he was thrown off into the ocean several miles away. And then he got such a shock from that experience. He gave up all his Rakshasa activities and he became a sadhu, and always living in fear constantly. Even if he heard the word Ra, right, somebody is saying something else, any word beginning with Ra, he would think Rama, and he would be terrified. He would be always thinking, maybe Rama is behind this tree, he's going to kill me, like that. He was living in great fear. This was Maricha's condition. And he said, you want to kidnap his wife? Which enemy of you has given you this type of advice? The person who suggested this to you, he's not your friend, he's your enemy, he wants to destroy you, like this. So uh, Ravana thought, yeah, it makes sense. So he gave up the idea of kidnapping Sita Devi. He said, go and you live peacefully in your kingdom. I know him. He's a gentleman. He won't come and attack you, not because he wanted to take over, like Akampana said, he killed all your soldiers and then next he'll come for you. So Maricha said, don't worry, right? He's just living here peacefully in the forest. Uh, so you don't have to worry. You go and live. So Ravana agreed. He went back. And when he went back, Surpanaka came. And she came, she knew Ravana is a very lusty man. She also wanted revenge, certainly. So she came and she started describing the beauty of Sita Devi, and how Surpanaka had gone there only to get Sita for Ravana's, and because she wanted to get Sita, how they had insulted her and cut off her nose and ears like that. She didn't say that she went there because she was lusty for Lord Ramchandra. She didn't say that. But as she went on describing Sita Devi, Ravana, it was like He had to get her. Once again he went to Maricha. And Maricha said, "What happened? You just left." He said, "You are going to die in either case, right? You just have to decide whether you want to die in my hands or you want to die in Ram's hands. If you helped me, then you would die in Ram's hands. And if you didn't help me, then I'm going to kill you." So Maricha decided, if I have to die anyway, I'd rather die in the hands of Lord Ramchandra. Why should I die in the hands of Ravana? So he agreed to help. Then he disguised himself as a golden deer and went in front of Sita Devi, and she saw this golden deer, like the body was made of gold with jewels, the spots were like jewels, and she thought, amazing, what kind of a, you know, deer is this? And then she told Lord Ramchandra, please, this was their last year in the forest. Soon they would be going back to Ayodhya. She said, I'll take this deer with me back to Ayodhya, as a gift. And for some reason, if the deer died, then we will have the skin of this deer for Lord Ramchandra to sit on, when he's doing his uh, worship, etc. So, Lord Ramchandra, for him, he simply wanted, he saw Sita Devi so happy that he just wanted to please her. She had been in the forest with him, enduring all these austerities, severe forest life. Now she's happy and she wanted this deer. He wanted to fulfill her desire. And he told Lakshman, you stay with Sita Devi, right? This is Dandakaranya, there are many Rakshasas here. So you protect Sita Devi, I'll go and get this deer. But Lakshman was very skeptical. He said, this is not a creature that is created by Lord Brahma. This is not one of the 8,400,000 species. This is Maya, right? He even recognized this is a Rakshasa, this is Maricha, this is not a deer. But, Sita ji really wanted that deer, and Lord Ramchandra said, don't worry, if it is actually a demon, then I will just kill him. And if not, I'll just bring him back. There's no loss, you just stay here. Like that. And then, of course, after some time, Maricha, when he took Lord Ram far away, he would be appearing close to Lord Ram. As soon as Lord Ram would go close, it would start bounding away, jumping further away. Lord Ram would be running after the deer, and the deer went too far. And it was quite surprising to Lord Ram that he had gone very far away. He had been running. By this time, any ordinary deer would have come in his grip, but this deer seems to be going away. And then Lord Ramchandra understood this is no ordinary deer. Right? And then when he trained his arrow on his bow to shoot, that's when, right, this deer was actually Maricha. When Lord Ramchandra shot the arrow, it it was thrown off into the sky in the air. And then he was screaming in the voice of Lord Ram. This was Ravana's instruction, right? If you are about to die, then you should cry out the name of Sita in the voice of Ram. That's what Maricha did and gave up his life. And there's when Sita Devi heard Lord Ram's voice calling out to her, she told Lakshman, go, your brother is in difficulty. Go to his rescue, go to his assistance. Lakshman said, Ram cannot be in any difficulty. I should stay here with you. This is the trick of the demons, of the Rakshasas. Sita Devi said, no, you should go to help him. And then she said, oh, now I understand why you came to the forest. You came here just looking for this opportunity. You want your brother to die so that you can enjoy me. That's never going to happen. Right? I'll never submit to anyone like that. And it was too much for for Lakshman. Lord Lakshman, to bear such words. He never even looked at Sita Devi's face. He would only look at her lotus feet, treating her like his worshipable goddess. Lord Ramchandra was his worshipable lord, and she was his consort, Lord Ramchandra's consort, his worshipable goddess, like that. When she said such harsh words, asking him to leave, then he left. And when after Lakshman left, that's when Ravana came, and in the disguise of a mendicant, and he took Sita Devi, kidnapped her forcibly, and went away. So that's what is said here in this verse. He left his residence and followed it, and this is next verse. Sorry. Yeah, he also killed. Oh, we finished that. Okay, the next one we read this also. O King Parikshit, when Ravana, who had 10 heads on his shoulders, heard about the beautiful and attractive features of Sita, his mind was agitated by lusty desires, and he went to kidnap her. To distract Lord Ramchandra from his ashram, Ravana sent Maricha in the form of a golden deer. And when Lord Ramchandra saw that wonderful deer, he left his residence and followed it, and finally killed it with a sharp arrow, just as Lord Shiva killed Daksha. How did Lord Shiva kill Daksha? Just as Lord Shiva killed Daksha. Well, Daksha's Lord Shiva means it was Veerabhadra, right? He killed Daksha, chopped off the head. So Lord Ramchandra killed this deer just like Lord Shiva killed Daksha, it is said. Okay, next. Rakshōdhamen vrikavad vipine samaksham वैदेहराज दुहितर्यपया पितायां भ्रात्रा वने कृपणवत् प्रियया वियुक्तः स्त्रीसङ्गिनां गतिमिति प्रतयं चचार. Okay, after Priyanka, Haripriya Mataji. Vindhyavali Mataji. Translation Mataji.
When Ramchandra entered the forest and Lakshmana was also absent, the forest of the Rakshasa Ravana kidnapped Sita Devi, the daughter of the king of Videha. Just as a tiger seizes unprotected sheep when the shepherd is absent. Then Lord Ramchandra wandered in the forest with his brother Lakshmana, as if very much distressed due to separation from his wife. Thus, he showed by his personal example the condition of a person attached to women. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, yeah. So we discussed this part. When Lord Ramchandra entered the forest, he went after the deer, and then Lakshman was also absent. The worst of the Rakshasas, Ravana, kidnapped Sita Devi, the daughter of the king of Videha. That's why, what is the other name of Sita Devi? Vaidehi.
Janaki, Vaidehi.
Vaidehi. The daughter of the king of Videha, Vaidehi. She's also Janaki, the daughter of Janaka.
Yeah.
So the daughter of the king of Videha. So Ravana kidnapped Sita Devi, just as a tiger seizes unprotected sheep when the shepherd is absent. So another lesson is women need protection. Otherwise, they will be exploited by men like Ravana. Then Lord Ramchandra wandered in the forest with his brother Lakshman. Yes, when they found out that Sita Devi is not, so they came back. Actually, when Lord Ramchandra saw that Sita Devi, when he saw Lakshman, so Lakshman went looking for Lord Ramchandra. As soon as Lord Ramchandra heard this Maricha scream in his voice and calling out the name of Sita, immediately Lord Ramchandra understood this is the whole thing is a plot by the demons, by the Rakshasas. Why did he call out the name of Sita, that too in his voice? Then he started running back towards the ashram. And on the way, he met Lakshman coming towards him, and he became even more concerned. Where is Sita? What happened? Why did you come here, leaving her behind? And then he said what happened, how Sita ji insisted that he should go, and how she was saying all those things. Lord Ramchandra reprimanded Lakshman. She's a woman, right? Out of grief, she'll say anything. But you should have had your, okay, even just to please her, you should have just, went out of her sight but hid nearby for her protection. You didn't do the right thing by leaving her alone. And then they started running back. And then as they were coming back, they saw so many bad omens, as if all the trees were crying like that. And when they reached the ashram, they saw, yes, Lord Ramchandra's worst fears, right, came true. Sitaji was not there. She was kidnapped. So then what was Lord Ramchandra's condition after that? He started going and calling out and crying out Sitaji's name and asking the trees, did you see my Sita? Did you see my Sita? Like that. So Lord Ramchandra wandered in the forest with his brother Lakshman as if very much distressed due to separation from his wife. Thus, by this, what was Lord Ramchandra showing us, teaching us? What is the condition of a person who is attached to women? How much he has to suffer? Like that. Purport. So, Achinta Dev Prabhu or Arunita or Aditi Lata Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. In this verse, the words Sri Sanginam Gatim iti indicate that the condition of a person attached to woman was shown by the Lord Himself. According to according to moral instructions, grihe narim vivarjayet. When one goes on a tour, one should not bring his wife. Formerly, men used to travel without conveyances, but still, as far as possible, when one leaves home, one should not take his wife with him, especially if one is in such a condition as Lord Ramachandra when banished by the order of his father. Whether in the forest or at home, if one is attached to woman, this attachment is always troublesome, as shown by the Supreme Personality of Godhead by his personal example. Of course, this is the material side of Sri Sangi, but the situation of Lord Ramachandra is spiritual, for he does not belong to the material world. Narayana Paro Vyaktar. Narayana is beyond the material creation. Because he is the creator of the material world, he is not subject to the conditions of the material world. The separation of Lord Ramachandra from Sita is spiritually understood as Vipralambha, which is an activity of the Hladini potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead belonging to the Sringara Rasa, the mellow of conjugal love in the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has all the dealings of love, displaying the symptoms called Sattvika, Sanchari, Vilapa, Murcha, and Unmada. Thus, when Lord Ramachandra was separated from Sita, all the spiritual symptoms were manifested. The Lord is neither impersonal nor impotent. Rather, he is Satchidananda Vigraha, the eternal form of knowledge and bliss. Thus, he has all the symptoms of spiritual bliss. Feeling separation from one's beloved is also an item of spiritual bliss. As explained by Srila Swarup Damodar Goswami, Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritir Halladini Shakti. The dealings of love between Radha and Krishna are displayed as the pleasure potency of the Lord. The Lord is the original source of all pleasure, the reservoir of all pleasure. Lord Ramachandra therefore manifested the truth both spiritually and materially. Materially, those who are attached to women suffer, but spiritually, when there are feelings of separation between the Lord and his pleasure potency, the spiritual bliss of the Lord increases. This is further explained in Bhagavad Gita 9.11. Avajananti.
Mataji, next person can read.
Okay.
Arunita or Achintya Dev Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Avajananti Mamuda Manusam Tanamashritam Param Bhavam Ajananto Mama Bhuta Maheshwaram. One who does not know the spiritual potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead thinks of the Lord as an ordinary human being. But the Lord's mind, intelligence, and senses can never be affected by material conditions. This fact is further explained in the Skanda Purana. It's quoted by Madhavacharya.
Madhvacharya.
Nitya Purna Sukha Jnana Sarvapo
Swarupo.
Sarupo
Swarupo Sauyato Vibhu.
Sauyato Vibho Atosya Rama Iti Akhya Tasya Dukkam Kutonyapi Tatapi Loka
Shikshartam.
Shikshartam Adhuko Dukha Vartivat Antarhitam Loka Dristya Sitam Asit Hitam
Sitam Asit Samaranam Iva.
Sitam Asit Samaram Eva
Maran.
Maranam Eva Jnanapam Punarnitya.
It's a long purport for her.
Sambandha
She is not able to read.
Shriya Ayodhya Vendachitam Sarvalokasha Cheshava Pratyaksham Tu Shriya Sartham Jagamandir Avyaya
Manadir Avyaya.
Nakshatra Masaka Nitam Dasa Sahasrakam Brahmaloka Samanchakre Smamastam Shruti Mandalam Ramo Rama Iti Sarvesam Bhagavatata Sarva
Mamayo
Loka Tat Ramas
Yada Ramas Apalaya.
It was actually impossible for Ravana to take away Sita. In the form of Sita taken by Ravana was an illusionary representation of Mother Sita, Maya Sita. When Sita was tested in the fire, this Maya Sita was burnt, and the real Sita came out of the fire.
Prabhuji will read the last paragraph.
Yes, Mataji. A further understanding to be derived from the example is that a woman, however powerful she may be in the material world, must be given protection. For as soon as she is unprotected, she will be exploited by Rakshasas like Ravana. Here the words Videha Raja Duhitari indicate that before Mother Sita was married to Lord Ramachandra, she was protected by her father, Vaideha Raja, and when she was married, she was protected by her husband. Therefore, the conclusion is that a woman should always be protected. According to the Vedic rule, there is no scope for a woman being independent. Asamaksham, for a woman cannot protect herself independent. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Such a long purport for this verse. That just tells us how important this verse is. When Ramchandra entered the forest and Lakshman was also absent, the worst of the Rakshasas, Ravana, kidnapped Sita Devi, the daughter of the king of Videha. So that's also significant. Why it is said Sita Devi, the daughter of king of Videha, that means she was protected by her father before. So Ravana kidnapped her just as a tiger seizes unprotected sheep when the shepherd is absent. Again, what are we seeing? A woman needs protection, and when she is unprotected, she is exploited the way a sheep is seized by a tiger when there is no shepherd, when there is no protector, like that. And the significance of the word Vaideha is she was protected before marriage by her father, the king of Videha, and now she was under the protection of Lord Ramchandra, but they were not there. Ram and Lakshman were not there at that time with her. So because she didn't have any protector at that time, this demon Rakshasa kidnapped her. That's one lesson. The other lesson is very, very important. Lord Ramchandra wandered in the forest with his brother Lakshman as if very much distressed due to separation from his wife. He was actually very much distressed. But what type of distress is that? So first, you should look at it from a material point of view and from spiritual point of view. Now, material point of view does not mean that Lord Ramchandra has a material side and a spiritual side. No. The material point of view is to set an example for us. Yad yad acharati shreshtas tad tad evetaro jana. Sayat pramanam kurute lokastad anuvartate. Whatever the great person does, common men will follow. And they will learn lessons, right? Also. So, Lord Ramchandra, from his example, he showed that if you are very much attached to a woman, how much you will have to suffer. A woman, yeah, if you're attached to your wife, which is in this material world, it's natural. But it's not going to come. Any happiness in this material world is not going to come. It's not going to be only happiness. There is action and reaction, right? That means every happiness is packaged with distress. You'll get pleasure from being attached to your wife, but it will also bring so much pain. When there is separation, that pain is also, it's actually much more, right? That pain is much more. So, what is the condition of a person who is attached to a woman? That Lord Ramchandra is showing by his personal example. So now we may not think that Lord Ramchandra is also like an ordinary person. He was attached to his wife and so he suffered. No, actually Lord Ramchandra cannot do any material activities. Why? Because he cannot touch, not that he cannot, he does not touch the material energy. Then where is the point of his performing any material activity or becoming affected materially? Impossible. And his consort Sita Devi is his internal energy. So the fact is, this is the highest ecstasy of Vipralamba Bhav. Vipralamba means separation. Just like the gopis, right? They were in separation from Krishna and the ecstasies that they were experiencing. So that separation is a form of ecstasy. That's the point. Which appears like suffering externally, actually it is the highest ecstasy. So here Lord Ramchandra is experiencing the ecstasy of separation, Vipralamba Bhav, from his Antaranga Shakti, from his internal, from his, Haladini Shakti. For Lord Krishna, the Supreme, right? Haladini Shakti Srimati Radharani. And his expansion, Lord Ramchandra, his Haladini Shakti is the expansion of Srimati Radharani, Sita Devi. So this separation is not material. That's what Srila Prabhupada is explaining in the second paragraph. Of course, this is the material side of Stri Sangi. Stri Sangi means one who is attached to a woman or to women. This is the material side of Stri Sangi. But the situation of Lord Ramchandra is spiritual. He is not a Stri Sangi. He does not belong to the material world. So there's no question. Narayana paro avyaktat. Avyaktat. Narayana does not belong to the material creation. He is the creator of the material world. He is not subject to the conditions of the material world. So then, what is the suffering or the pain of separation that Lord Ramchandra is experiencing? This is Vipralamba, which is an activity of Halladini potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, belonging to the Shringara Rasa. Shringara Rasa, right? You have Dasya Rasa, Sakhya Rasa, Vatsalya Rasa, Madhurya Rasa, or Shringara Rasa, and the conjugal mellow. So this Vipralamba is is belonging to the Shringara Rasa in the spiritual world. So in the spiritual world, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has all the dealings of love, displaying symptoms called Satvika, Sanchari, Vilapa, Murcha, and Unmada. So these are all experienced in the, in the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, these different rasas and, like you have Anubhava, Vibhava, like in the higher stages of love of Godhead, these are experienced. Like Satvik Sthayi Bhava, right? Then you have Anubhava, Vibhava, Sanchari Bhava, Vyabhichari Bhava, like that. Different ecstasies, rasas are experienced. So, what Lord Ramchandra was experiencing was actually a manifestation of his ecstasy of Vipralamba Bhava. When Lord Ramchandra was separated from Sita, all these spiritual symptoms were manifested. So, he is not impersonal, he is a person. And also Srila Prabhupada is saying he was not impotent. Right? He's completely a person. But he's not a material, he doesn't have a material body. His form is Satchidananda Vigraha. So he had all the symptoms of spiritual bliss. Feeling separation from one's beloved is also an item of spiritual bliss. As explained by Srila Swarup Damodar Goswami, Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritir Halladini Shakti. Pranaya is love, conjugal love, right? So, Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritir Halladini Shakti. The dealings of love between Radha and Krishna are displayed as the pleasure potency of the Lord. So, the Lord is the original source of all pleasure, the reservoir of all pleasure. And his pleasure potency, he is experiencing that pleasure through his pleasure potency, which is part of him, his internal energy. Lord Ramchandra manifested the truth both spiritually and materially. Actually, the fact is, the spiritual side is the fact. What he was experiencing was a spiritual mellow, but simultaneously, he was teaching a lesson to the people, material people in this world, materialistic people in this world. Materially, those who are attached to women must suffer. But spiritually, when there are feelings of separation between the Lord and his pleasure potency, the spiritual bliss of the Lord increases. That is not material suffering as we see. It is actually a spiritual bliss. That's the point, main point. Okay. But those who are ignorant, they consider the Lord to be human being, and then they'll come up with all sorts of theories, right? Avajananti mam mudha. They are foolish, mudha. They consider the Lord and his activities also to be human. They bring the Lord to their level. Why? Param bhavam ajananto. They don't know the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord. Mama Bhuta Maheshwaram, that he is actually the controller of all living entities. This they don't understand. So then we are reading from Skanda Purana, as quoted by Srila Madhvacharya. Yeah, it was not. So then, another important point here is that Ravana kidnapped Sita Devi. So now Sita Devi is the pleasure potency of Lord Ramchandra, and Ravana stole, kidnapped the Lord's pleasure potency. Ravana is material, he is a Rakshasa, and he stole the pleasure potency of Lord Ramchandra. How is it possible? How was he even able to touch the pleasure potency of the Lord? You'll get that question. So that is answered here in Skanda Purana, as quoted by Srila Madhvacharya. Actually, it was impossible for Ravana to touch Sita Devi, to take her away. The form of Sita that was taken by Ravana was Maya Sita. So when Sita was tested in the fire, this Maya Sita was burnt, right? That's why Lord Ramchandra later on, after killing Ravana, he said we have to test Sita's, chastity. So then, no, not like that. He didn't say we have to test. He just said that he could not accept Sita ji back because she stayed in another man's house for 1 year, and then externally that's how it looked, that Lord Ramchandra is, wanted some proof to see that she was actually pure. But the reality is, original Sita, his internal energy was safely kept with Agni, and it was Maya Sita that was taken away by Ravana. So when Ravana was killed, now Lord Ramchandra should retrieve his internal Shakti, the original Sita. So therefore, this Maya Sita was made to enter into fire, and original Sita came out to Lord Ramchandra. That was the whole plan. Huh? Of course, the other thing is not for himself. Again, every pastime will have two sides, the spiritual reason and then the material lesson that the Lord wants to teach. So, because then other people will question, right? How you're accepting her, she stayed. Maybe they can just talk, they may or may not tell him, but they may be talking behind. Oh, who knows what happened when she was there in another man's house. They can say things like that. So to prove to them that Sita Devi is completely pure, she went through this Agni Pariksha and she came out of the fire unharmed, resplendent like gold, show that she was completely pure. So many lessons from this shloka and purport. So about Maya Sita. So what did Madhvacharya say, quoting from Skanda Purana? That Ravana could not even touch Sita Devi. It was Maya Sita that he had kidnapped. And when Sita was tested in the fire, this Maya Sita was burnt and the real Sita came out of the fire. Like that. Yes, and how women need protection. We discussed that point already. She always needs to be protected. Therefore, the conclusion is that a woman should always be protected. There is no scope for a woman's being independent. A woman cannot protect herself independently. Mataji, Indiyavali Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. All these days, when Sita was there with Ravana, then also he never touched her.
Yes.
He never touched her and he just kept her like that as long as she agrees only he wants to.
Yes.
That is another thing. Those days it was there. Now in this Kali Yuga.
No, Mataji. Ravana would have forced Sita Devi, but he was under a curse himself. He was cursed. What
Oh.
he did was, previous to this, he forcibly molested Rambha, Apsara.
Mhm.
He
Mhm.
went to Swarga and he forced her. And so then her husband was Nalakuvara Manigriva. So her
Mhm.
husband was Nalakuvara. But he was helpless because Ravana was so powerful. But so then he was cursed that the next time, if you force any lady against her will, you know, your head will be broken to 1,000 pieces like that. You'll just die
Mm.
instantly. That curse was on Ravana's head. Otherwise, he would have forced Sita Devi also. The reason he didn't do, because Sita Devi didn't agree at all. He tried in so many ways. He made his, Rakshasis to tell wonderful things about Ravana, how he
Ah.
loves you so much, how great he is. So many ladies are waiting for him,
Mhm.
and he loves you, and you should accept him. He's like that. So many different ways he tried to win over her heart, but Sita Devi was completely chaste to her husband. So, finally he would have, but he had this curse on his head. He couldn't do it forcefully. So then he finally said, if you don't agree to become my wife, then I'm going to eat you as
Eat you.
breakfast. He gave her 1 year's time. In 1 year, if you don't agree, then I'm just going to eat you. One way or the other, I'm going to get you. Either I'll marry you or I'll just eat you up like that. This is a Rakshasa. So
But a
that's what.
lot of people doesn't know this story, that whereas Ramba's story.
Yes,
But
that
they
happened.
usually they say no, unless he didn't touch her, because he unless had wish. That's what they say. Even then, that is
No.
a no. That is
No, but
also there, no.
that is why Srila Prabhupada says that many people have written Ramayana, writing their own imaginations. You should only hear from Tattvadarshis. So this is there in Valmiki Ramayana. This point is there. So we should accept only that which is
Yeah.
coming.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. But this previous story, it
It's
was
there.
not visible outside that much. The overall, what they say is without her wish, he didn't touch her.
When they say that, Mataji, the people who say that, they're trying to depict Ravana as a, you know, such a nice person that
Ah,
he didn't do it. Yeah.
that's what I thought.
So
But
like that.
nowadays in Mataji, that many days it will happen Ramayana. But nowadays in Kali Yuga, no, if something happens to the lady also, she goes to court, whatever happens afterwards. But those days, no, that just whatever kingdom it was there, that is the thing, that is the court.
Hmm.
Nowadays, these things happen and then they go to court, they will be done. Like that, those nasty things are happening nowadays. So that's why women, they want their freedom, they want to be independent. Lot of things are happening. I think.
One who protects dharma, dharma protects him.
That's true.
So whatever dharma is there in the Shastra, if we follow that dharma, if we protect that dharma, whether woman's dharma, husband's dharma, father's dharma, Brahman dharma, Kshatriya dharma, when you protect dharma, then dharma protects you, like that. So if we don't follow dharma and we think we'll get justice from here and there, you know, it's like fallible soldiers. They cannot give us protection. They cannot give us protection. Yeah. So it's 6:31. We'll have to stop Srimad Bhagavatam reading here, and I'll read Bhagavad Gita now. Uh, so Inba will begin reading tomorrow. Okay. Bhagavad Gita introduction continuation. We were reading about Sanatan Dharma and what is non-Sanatan, right? Sanatan Dharma means it is, you cannot separate that Dharma from the living entity. Something non-Sanatan means it can be changed, right? You're a teacher today, you can change your profession, and tomorrow you can become a doctor or someone else, a musician, something. Or dharma, today you are Christian, tomorrow you become Hindu, and then you can become Muslim. So these are not Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan Dharma means that which cannot be separated from the person, not just human being, from any living entity. That is Sanatan. When Sanatan Goswami asked Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about the Swarupa of every living being, the Lord replied that the Swarupa or constitutional position of the living being, this is the Sanatan Dharma of the living being, is the rendering of service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yes. What is Sanatan Dharma? To render service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the Sanatan Dharma of every living entity. If we analyze this statement of Lord Chaitanya's, we can easily see that every living being is constantly engaged in rendering service to another living being. A living being serves other living beings in various capacities. By doing so, the living entity enjoys life. Yes, we get happiness when we serve. Why? Because it's our nature. It's our nature. Of course, the object, why it is not completely fulfilling? Because the object is not perfect, right? When you direct this service attitude toward the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then you will be completely satisfied. But the same service, same thing, lust and love, right? Atmendriya pritivancha taranam kam. Krishnendriya pritivancha dhare prem nam. When you try to satisfy the senses of Krishna, that is prema. But when you try to satisfy your own material senses, then that is called kama. So the endeavor is to satisfy, to serve. But who is it that you're serving? So the Sanatan Dharma is to render service. But naturally, your original position is to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is your natural position where you are completely satisfied. But when that natural propensity is directed towards something other than the Supreme Lord, then you're not satisfied. You're expecting that happiness. Anandamayo bhyasat. We are all looking for ananda. But the place where we are looking for that is wrong. You won't get ananda there. That's the problem. So here we are reading in this purport that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that the living entity's constitutional position is rendering service to the Supreme Lord. If we analyze this statement of Lord Chaitanya's, we can easily see that every living being is constantly engaged in rendering service to another living being. A living being serves other living beings in various capacities. By doing so, the living entity enjoys life. The lower animals serve human beings as servants serve their master. A serves B, master, B serves C, master, and C serves D, master, and so on. Under these circumstances, we can see that one friend serves another friend, the mother serves the son, the wife serves the husband serves the wife, and so on. If we go on searching in the spirit, it will be seen that there is no exception in the society of living beings to the activity of service. The politician presents his manifesto for the public to convince them of his capacity for service. The voters therefore give the politician their valuable votes, thinking that he will render valuable service to society. The shopkeeper serves the customer, and the artisan serves the capitalist. The capitalist serves the family, and the family serves the state in the terms of the eternal capacity of the eternal living entity. Family serves the state in the terms of the eternal capacity of the eternal living entity. In this way, we can see that no living being is exempt from rendering service to other living beings. And therefore, we can safely conclude that service is the constant companion of the living being, and that the rendering of service is the eternal religion of the living being. Yet man professes to belong to a particular type of faith with reference to particular time and circumstance, and thus claims to be a Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, or an adherent of any other sect. Such designations are non-Sanatan Dharma. A Hindu may change his faith to become a Muslim, or a Muslim may change his faith to become a Hindu, or a Christian may change his faith, and so on. But in all circumstances, the change of religious faith does not affect the eternal occupation of rendering service to others. The Hindu, Muslim, or Christian, in all circumstances, is a servant of someone. Thus, to profess a particular type of faith is not to profess one's Sanatan Dharma. The rendering of service is Sanatan Dharma. So, Sanatan Dharma is what? Rendering service. And what is the perfection of that service? When it is rendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's when the heart is completely satisfied. Srila Prabhupada Leela Amrita. So Srila Prabhupada is hinting to Srimati Morarji that she should also help. So he informed her that he had located a building just suitable for this great missionary work. It was ideal, as if it was built for this purpose only. Srila Prabhupada is writing, and your simple willingness to do the act will complete everything smoothly. The house is practically 3 stories, ground floor, basement, and 2 stories up, with all the suitable arrangements for gas, heat, etc. The ground floor may be utilized for preparation of prasadam of Balakrishna, because the preaching center will not be for dry speculation but for actual gain, for delicious prasadam. Okay, ground floor will be used for as a kitchen to prepare prasadam for Balakrishna, because the preaching center will not be for dry speculation but for actual gain. What is the gain? For delicious prasadam. People will come. I have already tested how the people here like the vegetable prasadam prepared by me. They will forget meat eating and pay for the expenses. American people are not poor men like the Indians. And if they appreciate a thing, they are prepared to spend any amount on such hobby. They are being exploited simply by jugglery of words and bodily gymnastics, and still they are spending for that. But when they will have the actual commodity and feel pleasure by eating very delicious prasadam of Balakrishna, I am sure a unique thing will be introduced in America. Now, according to his plans, he had a week left in America. My term to stay in America will be finished by the 17th of November, 1965. But I am believing in your foretelling. You should stay there until you fully recover your health and return after you have completed your mission. So Srila Prabhupada is holding her to that statement also. Okay. Yeah, this will read tomorrow. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you so much. All of you have a wonderful Deepavali festival. It's today for you, right?
Yes, Mataji.
For us, it is tomorrow. But yeah. So today is Sunday, so there's a program at the temple for Deepavali. I think they'll show.
Deepavali, I don't know, but we have normal festival.
Acha, Sunday festival, yeah. I think they'll light candles on the altar.
They will do anyway for the this thing. No?
Damodarashtakam.
Yeah.
So tomorrow there's another program, right? For Govardhan Puja.
Yeah.
Very
You're
nice.
missing. I can see that you are missing. Yeah. Any plans of coming back, Mataji?
I don't have any plans. If Krishna has any plans, I don't know.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Mataji,
Krishna. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Mataji.